If you told me when Ant-Man first came out that it'd be one of the series that got a trilogy, I'd call you a liar. And yet, here we are. I'm going to give you my thoughts and reactions to the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania right after the jump. Hello everyone, Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something, you will be among the first to know. 3 Ant-Man movies. Who knew? It is one of the only series in the entire MCU currently. Uh, Guardians will be following shortly. That is directed by the same director for all three, which is interesting because this first film of the Ant-Man series had a bit of a director faux pas with Edgar Wright and all that. But Peyton Reed has hung on for dear life, and he's been cranking these bad boys out. Ant-Man has sort of been the fun, jokey one, palate cleanser of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anytime something terrible happens, we throw in an Ant-Man movie and kind of like, things are going to be okay. This one, we're putting Kang the Conqueror in there. Jonathan Majors is full on. While his version in Loki was a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more lighthearted, he was one of the variants of Kang. The Kang that we're seeing in Ant-Man, I believe, is going to be a little bit more serious. So the tone of this Ant-Man movie could be very different than all the ones that we've had before, and I'm here for it. Let's put these bad boys in peril. So I'm going to crank up this trailer now and see what we got.
I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're at ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing. Thank you, Spider-Man!
People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this.
We've changed the casting again.
Like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
Mama said no. At that point, you just gotta let yourself go and get in there. Gotta get your daughter. And your girl's dad and mom too, I guess.
Where are we?
It's a secret universe beneath ours.
This already feels infinitely
What are you
different.
so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think.
There's that voice. Although that might be a problem now.
And give you more time.
Oh, wow.
If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
That looks phenomenal, and on a scale level bigger than anything that Ant-Man has done thus far. That is incredible. I will say this: I'm gonna wink, wink, and nod to those folks who were at Comic-Con and saw the Ant-Man trailer that they played there. They got a little bit more of the Jonathan Majors discussion with with Scott, and it was a little bit more intimidating. They got a little bit more read of it. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to mess with that dude. But the payoff for the difference is here, we got to see Kang in full Kang regalia, and that looked marvelous. Jonathan Majors, as we've seen all those photos from Creed 3 and Health Fitness, that man, you can get that ass whipped, dog. It looks great. I'm in. I went from Ant-Man, yeah, it'll be fun, another palate cleanser, to like, oh, okay. It's giving me some Guardians vibes a little bit with the music playing over like the sensical things and once you get in the quantum realm, anything sort of goes. So I'm excited to see what we go with next. This feels like a perfect end off for a trilogy and a little bit of something new for all us Ant-Man folks who've been hanging on for dear life. Like, all right, maybe they'll give us one film that is higher up there on the rankings. Like Ant-Man, I throw for everybody is one of those movies that, like, when you start rating your MCU movies, you're kind of like, oh yeah, Ant-Man's good. We'll put that right in the middle. This one feels like, oh, we might have to talk about Ant-Man. What did you guys think about the trailer? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can follow us on Twitter at HollywoodADI. You can hit us up on email at HollywoodAlreadyDidIt@gmail.com. We also have a podcast with the same name. That's on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that plays podcasts. We're there. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours.